Jones, ladies and gentlemen. Not even one night into the NBA season, and we are already clean sweeping. That's what I'm talking about, man. Can't have a better start than that, obviously. Coming out and getting all three of our picks right last night. So let's go ahead and recap it. Last night, the lock of the day was LeBron James over 26.5 points. Was getting a little dicey there because they were getting blown out, and he also went in the half shooting 5 for 15. So that had me a little bit nervous because he was not playing, or he was not shooting the ball very well. Stuff the stat sheet though. It definitely should take his rebounds as well with it, but it worked out. Jaylen Brown got off to a slow start as well. Ended up finishing with 35. Had a huge night, monster night from Jaylen Brown. And then James Harden. They played a very competitive game with the Celtics for the most of that game, the majority of that game. Then the crowd really got to him, and the Celtics really exploded late, like they tend to do. The Celtics do. Was able to get a late rebound and a late assist to PJ Tucker. I got really nervous because I thought the pass to PJ Tucker got tipped, but it didn't. Instead, James Harden went ahead and got that last assist that we needed for us. So he just barely finished with 15 for us for James Harden. But a win is a win. So 3-0 to start the NBA season, up plus 6 units. So let's get into it today. Got a 5-pick slate, of course, for us today. Got a whole bunch of games, so let's get into it, man. Real quick, if you guys are new to Underdog Fantasy, in the link down in the description below, I have a link that takes you straight to the App Store where you can download Underdog Fantasy, because you're going to want to hop in on the action this year. They have added a whole bunch of new features to Underdog Fantasy this year, starting with the brand new insurance feature, okay? This insurance feature is a new thing that has been super requested for the fans and the customers of Underdog Fantasy. Essentially, all you do is you click insurance right here. And if you can see right there, all you have to do is hit 4 of these picks to win, but the value does drop down. So if you turn off the insurance, you do a $10 bet, you obviously get $200. And if you turn on the insurance feature, it drops down a multiplier down to 10. But if you miss one of these picks, say, Jameis Winston gets hurt or something, he doesn't end up throwing 2 touchdown passes. But everybody else hits, like Lamar, Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry, and Justin Jefferson. All these guys hit. You still hit the slip. You just get it for $100. Just goes down a multiplier, which is a huge feature a lot of people have been asking for, so they received it. Also, they have added second half lines now to games. Obviously, it is on. There is nothing up because there's no NFL second half games, but they have added NFL second half. So just like for the Thursday night game, I'll throw up that clip right here. Thursday night, they dropped all the second half lines for that Thursday night game between the Bills and the Rams. They've added a bunch of new features this year. They're trying to improve to get the app better for you guys. Also, when you sign up, if you use code TAKEMYSHOT, you'll get $100 match, up to $100 match and 100% deposit match on your first time deposit. So if you do that, you can deposit $50 to get an extra $50, $20 to get an extra $20. Whole lot of stuff coming with Underdog Fantasy this year. Make sure you sign up with code TAKEMYSHOT. Now let's get to today's picks. All right, baby, coming in hot with today's lock of the day. Let's go ahead and get into it. Before we get into that though, real quick, I do want to just say real fast that obviously these are all these picks are going to be just based off predictions, right? We don't know how these teams play really. Obviously, we've seen them kind of play a couple of preseason games here and there, but we don't really know how these teams play without, getting a couple of games of data behind it. So all these are kind of just based on how they played last year, projections, how they played versus these teams before. But we don't know, obviously we haven't played too many games with these teams yet. So just want to say that real quick before we get into it. Okay, so today's lock of the day will be coming from the Sacramento Kings, one of the up-and-coming teams this upcoming season. Give me De'Aaron Fox, man. Give me swipe at a Fox over 23.5 points today. Taking on the Portland Trail Blazers today. Took him on 3 times last year. He had one really bad game where he had 10 points. Then he backed those next 2 games up with 29 points and 32 points. Much more like De'Aaron Fox-esque. They were without Sabonis. So I will add that part because obviously Sabonis is going to take a little bit of those shots away. But the main reason why I'm really loving this game, the Portland Trail Blazers have 0 perimeter defense. Literally no perimeter defense. They have guys like Yusuf Nurkic and Jeremy Grant inside, so I think they'll have a little bit, or Sabonis won't have as big a night. But Fox is going to have a bigger night for sure. No Gary Payton. Obviously, the Portland Trail Blazers signed Gary Payton, but he's going to be out for the first 2 weeks of the season, so he won't be out there. So they literally won't have anybody there. If I had to predict who they're going to throw on him, they're probably going to throw Josh Hart on him. He's probably their best perimeter defender on the roster from what I could see. Last year in the opening night, the Kings also played the Trailblazers. He dropped 27 last year in the opening night game. So give me De'Aaron Fox over 23.5 points for our lock of the day today. All right, next up, we're going to go with a big that had a lot of controversy on our channel last year. We're going to go with Clint Capella over 21.5 rebounds and assists. They are taking on the Houston Rockets here today. In 2 matchups versus the Rockets last year, Clint Capella had massive games. He was averaging 15 points and 14.5 rebounds, so he was averaging 30 rebounds and assists, or points and rebounds last year versus the Rockets in 2 matchups. With the addition of DeJounte Murray onto this team, DeJounte Murray made Jakob Poeltl look really good last year, right? Him and Jakob Poeltl had a really good two-man game, and Trae Young and Clint Capella have already established a really good two-man game. So I'm thinking the addition of having another elite passing point guard is going to help Clint Capella out a lot as far as his offensive game goes. And then obviously he's going to gobble up the glass a lot. The Houston Rockets don't have anybody outside Alperen Sengun that can really rebound the ball really well. I think their next best rebounder actually is Kevin Porter Jr., so a guard is their next best rebounder. So go ahead and give me Clint Capella to have a big night tonight. Over 21.5 rebounds and points tonight for Clint Capella. All right, next up, we're going to go with one of the biggest offseason moves, and I'm loving this one a lot. Give me Donovan Mitchell over 23.5 points. Last year against Toronto, in Toronto, he dropped 31 in the only game he played versus Toronto last year. So obviously, again, that's just how he played last year. Obviously, it was with the Jazz, a whole different team, whole different situation. But he has fared well in the past against the Toronto Raptors. He looked great in the preseason. In his last preseason game, he had 24 points in just 34 minutes. That preseason finale, he should be their number one scoring option. Has a little bit more in his bag than Darius Garland does. I'd say Darius Garland's probably a better pure three-point shooter, but Mitchell, much better finisher at the basket, much better mid-range shooter. Donovan Mitchell, a much better inside scorer. So I'd have to say that he's probably going to be their number one option. This probably should be a pretty close game between Toronto and Cleveland as well. Two teams have a lot of young talent, have added pieces. So there should be a pretty good game between the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Toronto Raptors. So give me Donovan Mitchell to be one of the catalysts in this game. Give me 23.5 points over for Donovan Mitchell today. All right, next up is one of my sleeper picks, and I'm telling you guys I was this close to making him the lock of the day. This freaking close. Give me Lowry Markkanen over 25.5 points and rebounds. Looked fantastic in the preseason. He's clearly the number one guy for this Utah Jazz team, offensively and defensively. Last two games for him in the preseason, he had 18 and 10 and 21 and 10. That's exactly what I'm probably going to expect from him here tonight. Nuggets aren't a massively good rebounding team. He's also not a 5. He's a 4. So I'm anticipating he won't be matched up on Jokic for the night. Again, that's just a presumption because I don't know exactly how those lineups are going to be. I don't think he'll be matched up directly with Jokic. He probably will be at times. But he's going to be their number one scoring option. Outside of Mike Conley, there's really not a whole lot of established scorers for this team. So Lowry Markkanen has shown overseas, and he's shown last year with the Cavs a little bit. He's had moments early in this preseason with this Jazz team. He's a pretty talented scorer. He's a guy that I think on the year is going to average right around 18 to 20 and 10, right around that range. So I'm liking him over in his 25.5 points and rebounds. Only way this one kind of gets out of hand maybe, or we don't hit this one maybe, is this one gets a little bit out of hand between the Nuggets and the Jazz. But I'm liking Lowry Markkanen over 25.5 points and rebounds. All right, and our very last play of the day today here is going to be coming from the Charlotte-San Antonio game. Give me Terry Rozier over 23.5 points here. No LaMelo Ball tonight, so that means Terry Rozier is going to be the clear number one scoring guard for this team tonight. Only guy that can maybe cut into his shots is maybe Gordon Hayward, but outside of that, Terry Rozier should be the number one guy. The offense should run through Terry Rozier. I couldn't find stats on how he fared last year without LaMelo on the floor. When I was pulling it up, trying to find it everywhere, it was just giving me his whole season stats, and obviously that's not correct. So, nearly a 20-point-per-game scorer last year with LaMelo Ball on the floor. So without LaMelo on the floor, you'd have to think he can get an extra 2 buckets. So the Spurs are also projected to be the worst team in the league this upcoming season. With the loss of DeJounte Murray, no real perimeter defense, as well as the loss of Lonnie Walker. This is a really bad team with a lot of guys that have a lot to prove. So also a lot of question marks, right? Because we don't know a lot of these guys, how they fare as starters and how they fare as real NBA players with getting a lot of minutes. So I'm liking the chances for Terry Rozier to probably light these boys up. So give me Terry Rozier over 23.5 points today. All right, so the part you guys have been waiting for, time for our perfect 3 slip and our perfect 5 slip. Today's lock of the day will be De'Aaron Fox over 23.5 points. Give us Donovan Mitchell over 23.5 points as well, and Terry Rozier as well over 23.5 points. Going all points on the perfect 3 slip for today is Rozier, Mitchell, and Fox, as well as the perfect 5 slip will be those 3 of Fox, Mitchell, and Rozier. Give me Lowry Markkanen over in his 25.5 points and rebounds, and then give me Clint Capella over 21.5 points and rebounds for today's perfect 5 slip. A guy that nearly made the cut for me today, I guess I kind of had 2. I really wanted to put Jalen Green over 22.5 points today versus the Atlanta Hawks. Only reason I didn't was because he's probably going to be matched up against DeJounte Murray for the majority of the night. He was the preseason's number 1 scorer. Obviously, he had 41 versus Atlanta last year as well, so I really, really thought about it. I really wanted to play him. Also, really wanted to do Ben Simmons' assists. They already raised it from last night. When I was looking at it last night, it was a 7.0. Now it's a 7.5. So Ben Simmons and Jalen Green, Ben Simmons' assists and Jalen Green's points are also some plays that I was really looking at, but just didn't quite make the cut tonight. All right, boys. With that being said, that's gonna wrap up today's video. We had a day yesterday. What can we say, man? I went ahead and tried to post my slip as much as I could yesterday. I'm gonna try to be as consistent as I can possibly as far as posting, daily, everywhere that I can on social media. I'll be honest with you guys. Ever since the end of the NBA season, I think I had I've been floating right around 27K subs, right around there. Coming in and out 26 or 2690 or 27. I've been floating right in and out of there. And the first day of me doing NBA basketball, I've already gotten a massive amount of subscribers compared to what I've been getting already. Also, the views went massively up. So thank you guys for coming back and supporting the channel. I know a lot of people were waiting for me to come back and do NBA, and it was clear and evident yesterday as the amount of views and subscribers went all the way back up. So thank you guys for that. Again, like I said yesterday, I don't do it for the views. I just do it to help people out, but felt pretty good to have a little bit of an explosion compared to how I've been doing lately. So thank you guys for that, and let's go ahead and cash tonight, and I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.